Wave. Dang.
Stuck in a lift. We've been trying to reach you.
Hello everyone, I figured I'd do a reading vlog this week. I'm reading a few books, or my plan is to read a few books. I don't know if I'll finish them all, but I know I'm at least gonna finish one. So we're going to read one, and then two of the other books are buddy reads, and I'm gonna be reading those throughout the month. So I don't expect to finish them, but I at least want to get a start on them and kind of include them in this vlog. And I'll talk about those in a second, but I did want to show, hang on. So I've been trying to decide what I want to do with my 5-star reads this year, because I feel like, or what I believe to be my 5-star reads, because I feel like I don't want to leave them just in my shelf. So I've created like this little corner kind of in my little office area. And I'm thinking I'm just going to start like stacking them here. And my goal is like throughout the year just to kind of flip through them and look at things that I underlined and quoted, or like the quotes I underlined and little like notes and annotations I left myself, and kind of sit with them all year and like absorb them, so that at the end of the year I can really know if these were like favorite reads. So like I just want them to be reachable and easily accessible to pick up again, instead of just putting them in my shelf and being like, okay, bye, we're done. Okay, that was a chaotic way to introduce what I want to do. But yeah, I want my 5-star reads to be closer to me this year than just on the shelf. So we're going to try that. We're going to see how it goes. And yeah, I'm just excited to be able to like pick them up again and sit with them. We're about to, oh wow, we are frizzy today. We're about to go to my parents' house for a little while. Wow. We're about to go to my parents' house for a bit today and like go have lunch. And I'm bringing along some books. I don't know if I'll actually read. I feel like Saturdays are always a kind of tough day to get some reading done, but I'm in the middle of Checkout 19 by Claire-Louise Bennett. I just did like a little paint with me vlog, mini vlog, that's somewhere up here. And I'm enjoying it. I think I like it more than Pond. However, she's so smart. She's such a smart writer. She's referencing so many novels that I've never read, unfortunately. I still feel like, even though I've read a lot and I've grown as a reader, I still feel that I'm lacking in a lot of different literary areas. So sometimes I feel a little bit of like, I'm not like worthy enough to be making booktube videos when I've never read a lot of these books that are being referenced, and they're kind of like literary classics. But we all read our own thing, we all discover things at our own pace, and I'm really enjoying this still. I feel like I'm still able to understand and get a lot out of it. There was a part early-ish in the beginning, I'd say, that I was like, what am I reading? I didn't fully understand it. But as the book has gone on, I'm really enjoying it. It is a love letter to literature and a love letter to books, and being someone who loves books and the way they've influenced their life growing up, and all of the different like touchstone moments and books that they can reference back to and look back to at like key moments in their life. I would say that's definitely what I'm really loving a lot. I have marked up quite a bit. I would say this book is taking me a while to get through. It is dense. There isn't really any dialogue. It is very like solid text. Like each page is just solidly packed. So it is very dense. And I did read like a review of this where someone said that it's not one of those books you want to rush through, because you need to read it and like absorb it and sit with it. And you just need to read it in like little chunks. And I totally agree with that. And that's kind of how I've been reading this. I actually went to a coffee shop yesterday and read this. And I was like journaling at the same time. And I kept catching myself reading like 2 or 3 pages and then just like going and journaling. And I wasn't even journaling about what I was reading. I was just journaling some things I was processing. And yeah, I did enjoy it more when I was less like, I need to read for 2 solid hours and make a good like progress in this book. Like that wasn't necessary for me to do. I think that sitting with it is the way to go with this book. Do not try and inhale it in 2 days. Sit with this book for like a week or more. So I'm gonna read this. My goal is to finish it hopefully early this week, if not this weekend, if that happens. I'm only like 50% of the way through, and I've read for quite a while, but it is great. Another book I'm reading, I'm going to start 2 buddy reads for this month. I'm really excited. They're my first buddy reads, but I'm going to be reading Funny Weather by Olivia Laing. I'm reading this with chapters of Clara. I'll put her Instagram account here, but yeah, Clara and I are reading this together, and we're really excited because we both have art backgrounds, and we're very interested in art and art history and the influence of art and culture. So we're gonna read this together, and I'm very, very excited. Another one I'm gonna start, but obviously probably not finish in this vlog, which is totally fine, is Painting Time by Maylis de Kerangal. This is a French translation. I forgot who translated it. I feel like I told y'all the last time I talked about it. Jessica Moore is the translator from French. I'm reading this with Addie from Expand Your Shelves, and I will link her Instagram in the notes as well. But yeah, we're really excited to read this together. I'm really, really pumped to read 2 books about art at the same time as like a buddy read this month. A little nervous just because I've never done a buddy read, but I think the two people I'm going to be doing this with are going to be the easiest, breeziest people to chat with, and I'm just really excited. All 3 of the books that I'm reading for this vlog are all part of my 23 books in 2023. So I was super excited about that because I don't know, I'm just like going through those books that I really wanted to get through, and I'm very excited about that. So I will talk to you later. Yeah, have a great Saturday. Or whatever day you're watching this, just have a good one. Bye. No. Okay. I just finished Checkout 19 by Claire-Louise Bennett. I have some thoughts and feelings. So she's super smart. Like, we already know that. She's an incredibly smart writer and a smart person in general. I definitely will say that I enjoyed this more than Pond. But I liked this one more, I think, because it's a quiet novel. It's focused on literature, and I think that's what kind of drew me in, and the parts that I enjoyed the most about this book is that it's very focused on a love of literature and how that has influenced our female narrator throughout her childhood and creating stories and into her adult life in the books that have shaped and formed her. There was like the story that she's telling us that she wrote as a kid really lost me at times. That was what I think I kind of glazed over when I was reading a bit more. I was more interested in her talking about the influence of literature upon her, the people who came into her life that inspired her literary wise, her time working at a grocery store at Checkout 19, and the Russian man who gave her, I forgot what novel it was, a copy of Beyond Good and Evil, and the relationships she has throughout college with men, and the role that literature plays in that, which was oftentimes cringy and funny at the same time. Really liked, there were some parts towards the middle and how she had one boyfriend who was constantly like making fun of the books that she liked to read, and so she stopped sharing what she was reading, and whenever he would ask, she would just kind of ignore and not want to tell him about it because she knew he would have some sort of reaction to it that was negative. He just kind of thought that what he was reading was better than what she was reading, and unfortunately I've had experiences like that in college where I was reading something and some guy would randomly take it upon himself in the library to ask me about it and have some rude comment to make and basically make me sound or feel like I was inferior for reading that, and he was reading this. And so that just made me laugh because I just think it's absolutely ridiculous and unfortunately so real. So yeah, he wanted me to explain it to him what it was exactly about this particular book that appealed to me. And then she goes on to say, though if it was for him that I felt embarrassed or for myself, I couldn't quite distinguish, and I vowed not to give or lend him any more books after that. And whenever he asked me what I was reading subsequently, I would answer most mellifluously, something that you'd find very dull, but that I happen to like a great deal. Yes. And then she's, I forgot where she is, but she's walking around with some books, and this girl is kind of looking at her and watching her, and she's like not sure if the girl is just looking at her, and the girl goes up to her and she wants to know what books she's reading, and they kind of hit it off. She doesn't really get her name, but she says, I'll leave some books for you at a cafe on Friday at this time, so after that you can go in and get them. And it's just such a pure, she just wants to share literature with someone who will appreciate it and not judge her for it, and to be thankful and excited to be a part of sharing the things that she values and loves, and to have someone also find those things to be very special and important and worthy. Like the girl is learning English, so she gives her just a bunch of different books, and she goes on to like think about where the girl will read the books, what her space will look like, and I just loved that excerpt. It's really beautiful. Maybe I'll go into it more in my wrap up, but I just liked this part. I'm glad some of the books I gave her were by female writers from Italy and France. I wonder what they awakened and stirred up inside of her. What did they make her yearn for and set out to meet? I wonder especially what impact Lenu and Leela had on her heart and on her ideas for the future. What seed did they plant? Where did she go? And when she got there, was it how she had imagined it to be? I just love that. And obviously she's referencing My Brilliant Friend, so the book I will never shut up about. But yeah, just like this love of literature and language and sharing it with someone who will value it, and just the contrast of that. And those are the parts that I really valued in this book. And there were parts that went over my head. I would say it's like a 3.5, 4 star for me, this book. If I had to give it like a rating, I do think I enjoyed it more than Pond, just for the subject matter and the way it was written. I mean, she can write a sentence. She can write like no one's business. I do recommend that if you read this, that you take it a bit slow. This took me a little over a week to read. I did read a large chunk of it today just because I really wanted to get it done. Not because I was like, I want this to be over with, but because I wanted to get to some other books, and I just had some time to really dedicate to reading this. But yeah, I would say take this book slow, take your time with it. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. So next we're gonna read Funny Weather and Painting Time for the rest of this vlog. So I will talk to you later. Bye. Hi everyone, it is Wednesday, and I thought I would do a little reading update. It is a very gloomy, rainy day, and I'm just feeling it. The weather's been up and down this week, and I'm just, yeah,
over whatever this is, over winter. Sorry, my friend is coming in here. So yeah, just over, I don't like February. I think I like February even less than January, but that's a really hard, I really don't like January. We're ready for March, but anywho, I thought I would do a little reading update. So I'm not finishing either of these books in this vlog. I know, I see you, hello. I'm not finishing either of these books in this vlog because they're buddy reads. And I just am trying to keep myself kind of in pace with my buddies and making sure that we have time to discuss it. And I really want to keep reading, but I want to be respectful of our time reading those books together. But I wanted to do like a little tiny update. I know you probably won't hear my full thoughts on either of these until the end of the month, but that is okay. So let's start with, sorry, we're having major issues right now. Let's see if he'll let me just sit on my lap. He got a haircut, y'all, and it's very short. He looks really funny, so we'll give it a couple weeks and it'll grow out, but it's okay. He's naked. All right, so first book I want to talk about is Funny Weather, and I'm reading this with Clara, and I've linked her Instagram below. Thank you for that. And I've briefly talked about both of these books I'm going to talk about are, please don't lick my face, are in my 23 books for 2023. And this is Olivia Laing's Funny Weather, Art in Emergency. I've not read very much of this at all. I am taking this one very slow because it's not dense. He just shoved a book with his nose. And it doesn't read like an art history book or anything like that. It's just that I want to take each section and each chapter or essay kind of slow because I am really going in and looking things up that I maybe am not familiar with. It starts with like an introduction basically to what this essay collection is, how it kind of formed. Olivia Laing was asked in November of 2015 to write a regular column for a magazine titled Funny Weather. Well, the climate of our politics was gonna get it was already starting to feel kind of in turmoil. This is kind of like the genesis of this, I guess you could say, this essay collection. But mainly it's asking the question of like the function of art in our society and the politics in the world that we currently live in with all of the turmoil that we have and what art can be. And she found that a lot of people oftentimes like believe that art cannot change your mind. It's just there to look at. It's just there to be aesthetic. And obviously Olivia disagrees with that. I definitely disagree with that. The little intro just ends with this, and I'll read it because I feel like it does a really great job of kind of explaining. But we're so often told that art can't really change anything, but I think it can. It shapes our ethical landscapes. It opens us to the interior lives of others. It is a training ground for possibility. It makes plain inequalities, and it offers other ways of living. So far, like I said, I'm just starting it, but the first the first section is on artists and their lives. So it starts with A Spell to Repel Ghosts, which is on Basquiat, who obviously like I know of in like an art history context, just from, studying art history, but I feel that I still didn't know as much, and I did do some more research as I was reading, looking up specific paintings that were being referenced. I'm about to start the Agnes Martin essay. Very excited about that, but I'm just really, really enjoying it. I don't have tons to say about it yet because I'm just starting it. I feel like I'll have tons in my wrap up, and I might do one more kind of touch base before I post this video, but I am really, really enjoying it. So the other book that I'm reading is Painting Time by Maylis de Kerangal. It's translated from the French. I'm reading this with Addie, who I've also linked below. Both of the books that I'm reading, one fiction and one essay collection, are focused on art and art making. So far, very differently. Not different in a bad way, but like one is talking about what art can do for us as like a society, and this is mainly focused on an individual's experience in the art world and studying art. So we are following our narrator named Paula. This is very much a coming of age story. She's studying decorative arts in school. She's learning to paint replicas of marble and wood. So the technique is called trompe-l'oeil, so it's the art of illusion. I'm only like 50 pages in, but so far the writing in this is divine. As someone who just loves reading about art materials and paint colors and seeing them in novels just really excites me, and it just takes me back to a world in a studio that I loved and have really fond memories of. So I'm really, really enjoying this. I, again, don't have tons to say about it except that it is beautifully written. It is a coming of age novel, which I love, but it is just, it's not super focused on like dialogue or things happening per se, but more of how Paula is handling being in this environment where she's studying the art of trompe-l'oeil for 6 months. It's like not a certification program, but it's kind of like that, and in Brussels, and just the not imposter, but she just feels out of place. She doesn't feel that her drawing skills are up to par. She feels like she doesn't quite fit in, and she's exhausting herself. Like she was the person before who cared a lot about her evening routines of washing her face with her nice face washes, of going to bed at good like times, like maintaining friendships, and now she's just constantly working. She talks about her bed smells like turpentine, her pajamas are stained with paint, she has like samples of paints and things on her windowsill. Like, she is living this life because she feels that in order to be successful she needs to give it her all. So I'm very excited to see where the rest of her story goes. But yeah, I am enjoying both of these so much. I want to just breeze through them, but I'm really excited to have my discussions soon. I actually need to message both of my friends and talk about these. But yeah, I've just been reading a little bit. I haven't had a ton of time to read this week. It's just been one of those weird slow weeks where not a lot's happening, but I just feel like I can't quite get it together. And I at the same time want to breeze through these books, but they're excellent. I'm loving them. They complement each other both physically and thematically quite well. So I will talk to you again later. Have a great evening or whenever you're watching this. Bye.
We've been stuck and lived in the belly of a whale at the bottom of the ocean. Smell of air conditioning, fish your belly up, empty your
Hi everyone, I figured I would come in here and close out this video. You also may have noticed that the quality shifted on this quite a bit. I started filming with my phone and then I was testing out a camera. I'm not really loving that, so now I'm using my husband's phone to finish this. Gonna get a phone upgrade soon, but the camera and I were not gelling. The colors were not working for me. So I tried it. I wanted to be all cool and professional, but it wasn't working for me. So we're gonna stick to the iPhone and that's fine. But I wanted to close out this reading vlog. I feel like not a lot happened in this vlog. This week is just one of those weeks where I literally just went to work, came home, and just like vegged out by either reading books or watching White Lotus, which I did get obsessed with and we finished. And now we're doing a rewatch of Normal People while we also watch The Last of Us because Pedro Pascal has my heart forever. But yeah, it's Friday. I figured I'd close out this vlog and give you a little update. I knew I wasn't gonna finish both of these this week because they were buddy reads. I didn't want to finish them. I'm still in the process of chatting about them with my two buddies. But Funny Weather, wow, this book is phenomenal. I wish that this had existed when I was in college and I was studying art history and in art history classes and art theory and methodology courses. I wish that this was the type of text that was taught
for many different reasons. Like as I'm reading this, I'm like thinking of what I would teach if I were an art history teacher. Like this is one of the books that I would teach, because I think it's really important to not only talk about art and to study art, but to really think about it in the context of culture and how it affects the people viewing it and what it does for us as like a whole society. I don't have great thoughts formulated around this, but like I have so many feelings about it and I need to write them down. But this is excellent. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm still in the art section, the artists part. I'm much more familiar with the artists than I feel that I'm going to be with some of the writers that are discussed and other figures that are brought up in here. So right now is 100% a 5-star read, and I hope it continues to be even once I get to the stuff that I don't know as much about. But yes, this is great. I am like taking my time with it because I'm discussing it, but I've dog-eared it. I've marked it all over the place. It is absolutely wonderful. I really, really do think it's going to be a 5-star read. So that is great. I am also, I would say, almost halfway through Painting Time. This is great. Like I said, the writing is really, really lovely. It's got a plot, but it's not a traditional plotty type of novel. I'm not a plotty novel person. I don't love lots of dialogue. I still feel that this is a very coming of age interior novel. It's reminding me a lot in the style that it's written, not necessarily like the subject or anything, but just the way it's written is a lot like Elif Batuman's The Idiot. Just that it's a very interior book, but we're getting a lot. There's a lot happening. We're in an academic sort of setting. I need a drink. Made some coffee Friday. Okay, so I do feel that this has the potential to also be a 5-star read. The writing alone, the subject matter, it's just got all the things going for it to be a 5-star read. Honestly, both of these books do. So yeah, I am really enjoying both of these so much, and I'm just having the best time. This has been a real bright spot in an otherwise very mundane, dull week of being able to discuss both of these books and chat about art. And yeah, it's just been exactly what I needed to get through this week. Appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed this mundane reading vlog. Leave me a comment, say hi. Let me know if you read any of these. If you have other book recommendations along these lines, because y'all know I love art. I love art theory. I love art criticism. I love fiction that has art in it. I love internal, thinky woman narrators. Send them my way, please. And other people will also appreciate that in the comments. But yeah, I hope that you have a great weekend. I will probably see you again at some point very soon. But yeah, thanks for being here. Remember to take care of yourself and always be kind. Goodbye. Happy weekend. Cheers. Do something good and nice to yourself, for yourself. Buy yourself some flowers. Eat a good meal. Sit on the couch. Just take it easy. Bye.